First week of Alabama football camp was last week, and we're still kind of filing through all the excitement in Tuscaloosa. One of those things was the juice chain. Yeah, we're going to talk about that offensive line and how we're going to be part of that juice squad. Then we're going to talk about another type of juice. Well, yeah, the story that came out that there are fixed games in the SEC. That includes the Italian mob. I'm serious. We're going to talk about that as well. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be an interesting show. The Bama Tailgate YouTube channel here. We want you to be a part of it. Here's your invitation, guys. Roll Tide. What do you say, everybody? And roll tide. Let me bring him on the screen. There he is, big, sexy Elmo. You know him as Brett Elmore from the Brett Elmore Show in Jasper. WJLX, I'm Mick Gillispie, app broadcaster. Mick, still in Arizona, still at spring training, but still talking to you guys every day.
Let me see that big ring again. I saw you just flash it. Oh, wow.
Feels good.
That could do some damage. Congratulations.
Heavy as the hand that wears it. No, it's not. Thank you. Well, Alabama wants to get more of these, and they've got more rings than anybody else, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to take the juice squad to get it done. The winning and losing is done on the offensive line. Had Alabama been more consistent snapping the ball and blocking up front last year, they would have won the national championship. And that is what Chris Kapilovic is trying to bring to this team. And with that, he's bringing a little bit of fun.
Yes, he is. The offensive line is something that we're concerned about, obviously, because of the way they played last year, especially at center. And we've spent a great deal of time talking about the center and that race there. Fans are weary about the O-line, and Coach Kap, as they call him, really praising what he's seen so far. He said that he loved the older guys. He talked about Booker being a great human and great leader, and then Jaeden Roberts doing a good job. And they don't have a whole lot of older guys, though, on that unit. Brock's been around for a little while, and he's battling, of course, for Brailsford there at the center job. But you're right. It's that old saying, you got to win the line of scrimmage. And offensive tackle, Mick, is probably one of the positions that besides center that a lot of fans have been talking about, because Latham went to the draft, and then we had the transfer in Proctor, and there's no one on the roster that has experience starting on the D1 level at offensive tackle.
Yeah, 13 scholarships players this spring, but only 2 of them have started games for Alabama, which you're right. And, Roberts and Booker. And then after that, I mean, it's just like guys that are going to be fighting for spots. But just like everywhere else, there's a lot of talent there. Just got to get these guys in the right position. And then also, if they look at the 13 and they're like, hey, maybe we need a little more experience, you also have that transfer portal right after the A-Day game. But one of the things that these guys are going to try to do is give more juice, right? Open up that 40-yard touchdown run by Justice, right? We're going to – Justice Haynes is going to be the guy this year with a bunch of other great running backs as well. And the Juice Squad. Are you going to get you a Juice Squad T-shirt? It's the offensive line.
The offensive line needs to create a little NIL deal right there for the Juice Squad T-shirts. There are going to be and the Juice Squad chain, Mick.
Yeah,
I would wear that.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, get me an NIL. They do the NIL thing, the Juice Squad chain. Yeah, I'd wear one on game day.
Well, that's for the player of the week. Player of the week gets the Juice Squad chain. Something that, you pop that in there, and if the players buy into it, it really helps, because it creates competition. And guys have fun with that stuff. You see it not just in college football, but you also see it in Major League Baseball and other sports where, you kind of have a lot of fun based off of those things. But anytime you start talking offensive line and you start talking about what those guys are capable of doing to help you win, and you get them all locked in and moving in the right direction, it's a great thing. And I think that's what it's going to take for Alabama to surprise some people this year.
Yeah. Like we mentioned, the line of scrimmage is where the game is really won. And last year that was a question mark for us. But it looks like we're making some progress, which is good. And the team, don't forget, it's spring break week. So no practice this week.
All right. This is something else we were going to talk about. The spun by Sports Illustrated. Is it Mo Hassan? Is that how you say that? Yeah. Vandy's quarterback. He said that he was at a bar in Nashville, and an Italian mobster came up and said, "Hey, we'll give you $300,000 to fix games." What was interesting to us is that he said that the mobster told him, "Look at those glasses," that a lot of the SEC games are fixed, and said that Alabama and I guess some players that are in the NFL were on the take. And that obviously before NIL. But really interesting to me. I mean, those are big claims. Obviously, no proof behind it. But going back to the Tennessee game a couple years ago, Brett, I just felt like something wasn't right. I put it more on the officials than the players. But nothing surprises me anymore because of the availability of gambling in a lot of places. That organized crime always looking for a way to make some cash. Look at those glasses you got on there. You Tony Soprano?
That was my Soprano look. Nobody's offering the backup quarterback at Vanderbilt to throw a ball game. Give me a break.
Yeah, how's he going to throw it, right?
How is he going to throw a ball game when he's the backup unless he says, well, I'm getting $300,000 cash. I could probably spread the wealth to some of the guys that are starting. This was at Jason Aldean's bar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he only threw like 20 career passes his entire career. So no, he's not going to throw the game. But he did say, and I quote, he said, "We regularly talk to guys at your position about fixing games." He named guys at the SEC who I don't want to say their names because they're in the NFL right now, but the University of Alabama. I'll tell you that.
Who would that be? I mean, it couldn't be Mac Jones. He won all of his starts.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts or Tua. I mean, I wonder who he's talking about.
I don't know, but that's a billion-dollar industry, Mick, and we already see. Look at what happened with the baseball at Alabama.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm not saying that it isn't possible, but
right.
I just think like that the throw to say, okay, players in the NFL and mention Alabama. Well, it's either Mac Jones, Bryce Young, which I mean, I just can't imagine any of those four, Tua or Hurts doing it. I can't imagine any of those guys doing that. But I couldn't have imagined Alabama's baseball coach betting against Alabama either. So, but I kind of feel like maybe somebody came up and said something to him. And maybe, look, if you're a mobster, are you really going to tell on the guys that are making you money?
That and $300,000 in the NIL world's chump change now.
Now, yeah. But back then it might not have been,
Back then it wasn't. But I don't know. It's an interesting story. Look, I've always said that pro sports is ran by the mob.
You've always believed that, huh?
I've always believed that. I'll believe it until the day I die. Mm-hmm. And I believe that the pro sports are ran by the mob. Now, would that seep down into the collegiate level? Who knows? I mean, like I say, college games really not what not what it was 10 years ago. But they're going to tamper. They've tampered with referees before. They've done all that stuff.
Yeah. I would think college would be easier to throw than the NFL, though. And maybe I'm totally off base. Because you're dealing with there's just it's not as organized, right? And you don't know when someone's messing up in college because people mess up all the time. The NFL's so much more orchestrated, you know, but maybe I'm totally off base.
But look at all these games and look how close the line is every time.
It's crazy.
And it seems like sort of like Alabama and Auburn earlier in the year in basketball. Auburn was on this big, you know, streak, and you know, I thought Auburn's going to crush us, and Alabama was a 4-point favorite, and what ended up winning the game by 4,
right?
Or 4. It was a 4.5 point or whatever. I said, now come on, something's not right here.
Yeah,
but, I don't know. Maybe it's coincidence, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
All right. Well, Brett, what do you got going on this week?
Man, just waking up early in the mornings. It's different. Hey, you know, last night I was like, the sun's still shining and it's like 7 o'clock, you know? I was like, I like this. But trying to get adjusted to the time change. Wake up with me in the morning, 6 till 10, WJLX 101.5 FM, WJLX1015.com, all the apps, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, the custom app, North Central Alabama 102.5 HD3.
Look at you, everywhere.
Everywhere. Just get a big load of me.
All right. Well, hang out with Brett and make sure that you pick up the newest, the hottest, the best print available right now at newlifeart.com. Brett, you love it. You're getting one. You can't wait to put it in studio. And, yeah, I'm with you too, man. I don't blame you for getting one of these. And hopefully you when you get it, you're not greedy and put it in the studio where we can't see it together. What I'm hoping is that you'll put it right behind you so that all of us can look at it. And I'm talking about 4th and 31. And the reason why maybe the mob was behind that, right? They got the ball and they helped Milroe throw it into the end zone for that miraculous touchdown. And then maybe they chased guys off because they were angry that, you know, like Pulp Fiction. You ever see Pulp Fiction?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was supposed to throw the boxing match, Bruce Willis, but he ended up killing the other guy.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. Look, this is a great print. You get 15% off when you use the code Bama Tailgate at newlifeart.com. So check it out, man. Get it yourself. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the contrasting colors. It just pops. It's fantastic and would look fantastic in your man cave. So pimp out your man cave. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to do it again tomorrow unless something breaks. Roll Tide.